Heyo, can y'all hear me? Sketty, you might be the only one in here right now, but happy holidays, happy solstice to those of you filthy animal, pagan heathens that celebrate that sort of thing. You know, by the way, our fish kind of celebrate it. Our fish are attuned to the shortest and longest days, as are our plants, and that's how I fake the plants out and get them to flower. So I think that the solstice is important to fish keeping. I think it should be a small holiday on the fish keeping calendar, if nothing else. Cool videos from a cool guy. Now there's a channel name. Welcome. Quoro, what's up? Aloha. Aloha. So I guess we'll wait for a couple people to filter in to realize, oh, Alex has finally got around to actually coming online. But earlier, I was just honestly too tired. The medications I take and just my life in general, I guess, getting old, an old man, end up wearing me down at kind of a certain time of day. And it's kind of been syncing up right with when I stream, unfortunately. And I just get really bad brain fog and stuff. And so I might have to adjust the time that I stream. I think that's the bottom line, because I feel so bad letting folks down when I can't focus or read. My vision starts going bad a little bit and stuff. But anyhow, I'm feeling good right now. And so somebody here, I'm just gonna call you Mr. Cool Guy. Mr. Cool Guy says his cherry barbs are trying to breed. Any advice? Swassertang or marbles. So if you get glass marbles that are all the same size and you fill the bottom of say even like a 5-gallon tank with them, 2 or 3 marble stack layers thick, they'll form kind of a grid, but in between them there'll be voids. And that's a good way to breed any nanofish or tetra or any egg scatterer that has small eggs, because they're going to drop the eggs and then they're going to eat them almost always. Or if you have other fish and snails and things, they'll eat them. So the best way is out of sight, out of mind. And you can either do marbles like they used to, glass marbles. They used to do that all the way back in the turn of the century, the turn of not this last, but the previous century. And also you could use a mesh that's about 2 millimeters or so each little box. And lastly, you can keep them in there, or you can sometimes separate the females so you can already see have a belly on them. And with those, it's pretty easy to see which ones are the females and which ones aren't. The males are going to be more colorful, have more finnage, all that, especially in the captive breeds. If they're wild breeds you have, then sometimes it can be a little trickier to tell. But cherry barbs are pretty easy to tell male from female. So keep them apart, feed them live food, baby brine shrimp, and then keep them in real aerated, clean water. And, that's really my advice for them. They should breed pretty easily. They'll scatter eggs a lot of times for a few days at a time, like maybe 10 to 20 eggs a day for 3 or 4 days. And then you can pull them out if you want. If you use just a glass bottom tank and you got a thick base of Swassertang, then you can use that, or like Christmas moss or Java moss, or really thick wadded up guppy grass even. And a lot of times the eggs will fall through that and then out of sight, out of mind for the fish. So any of those 3 work really well for any egg scatterers, really. And Coro says, yeah, the marble trick made a big difference for egg scatterers for me. Yep. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, it's old, but it works. 140-year-old trick, I think. It's like about as far back as I've seen it mentioned. And have I ever kept blue Badis? Yes, I have kept them. They're cool, I guess. They're not actually like a nice blue color that I've ever seen anyways. But they're a cool little fish, and their behavior is kind of similar to like a little cichlid that's an inch long, which is cool. They're a little bit bigger than the scarlet Badis. I really think the black tiger or the Higginsonini or Higsonini. I can't remember how you're supposed to say it, but anyways, the Myanmar black tiger Badis. Those are a really cool one. If you're looking at Badis, also the red flame ones, and I can't remember their Latin name, but there's a lot of Badis. I did a live stream a few months ago. Time flies. It was like a year ago on all the different Badis that aren't in the hobby, but that we know about. And there are so many, and there's a lot that are pretty colorful. Yeah. Would they breed around Anubias or Amazon swords? They're not going to stick like their eggs to them, I don't think. From what I've seen, they scatter their eggs, but I mean, they probably feel safer with something to like weave in and out of, like some plants and stuff. Like when they spawn, you know, they need enough area that they can dance and show off their finnage. This is true for most little fish, but then they need also an area to run and hide. And also they kind of want an area where they can get away from all the other males or other fish, theoretically. So they usually need enough room, like, you know, one pair and for about 5 gallons per pair, whether that's you have a couple pairs in a 20 long or whether you've got one in a 5, you can make it work. And usually I'd get two females per male if you can. The males can fertilize very easily, and they don't do anything other than dance, which they can do. They have plenty of stamina as long as you've been feeding them, and they'll do their dance all day and all night if they need to, just like a guppy. Aquatic Moose, what's going on, Craig? And speaking of Craig, he just sent me another fake profile that somebody made on Facebook of me, and they took my picture and they took my background and everything, like the background photo, and they were clearly trying to imitate me. And I'm guessing we're going to shake down my friends list for money or something, or hacking of some sort of social engineering type hacking. But I've had that happen on this channel where people are like, I'm Alex and I need $50. Can I borrow $50? I'll give you 100 back, you know, stuff like that. So if I should never be hitting anybody up for money or for a gift where you have to go do anything sketchy. I mean, if we're going to do it, we'll talk about it either email or more like than likely on the channel openly in front of everyone. But it's a bummer. I've asked to get the blue check mark or black check mark on YouTube, as it may stand, and haven't been able to because I don't have a big enough following. But they make exceptions frequently for that, so we'll see. Ari Cat, Todd McCarver, what's going on? John Monroe, Fish Family Linkbot, what's going on? Father Chris, who else is in here? Ari Cat, any tips on knowing if Eloma gilberti spawned or getting them to spawn? Well, they probably did spawn. They spawn pretty regularly as long as they're colored up and happy. If you see them with their colors at all, if you see the male having blue at all, they're probably ready to spawn. If you see the female with a full belly, they're definitely spawning. And they usually lay a few babies at a time and then, you know, wait a day and then lay a few more. And they also are egg scatterers, and they also will eat their babies and eat their eggs. So they either need a big enough enclosure, like, you know, a 40 gallon or 29 gallon that's just chock full of guppy grass or swassertongue or, you know, moss or something, leaves, and allow them to do that and spawn, and then the babies will survive off the infusoria and stuff that lives in there. Or you can pull the parents out after a couple days, just wait a few days, and usually the babies will hang out on the bottom at first, and they're really tiny. So then they'll go up to the top, and you'll look in the corners of the tanks at night, and usually they're treading water there, and they're the size of an eyelash at like 3 or 4 weeks. So sometimes you kind of need to just have a tank where you like set it up, put them in there after a week or after 2 or 3 days, however long you want to wait, depending on how active the fish seem to be, and feeding them live food. Ideally, you want to also see that there's some sort of algae or paramecium or something in the water for them to eat, like little tiny little, microscopic foods. And then that will also encourage the adults to spawn. The conservative night, what's going on? At Fishy, yeah, I appreciate it when you guys do the at Fishy. I can miss comments very easily otherwise. And if you are a member, which again, it's $1.99, and you get access to 200 extra audio episodes. But this is my pitch of the hour of the show. And if you want to be a member, it will also put a box around your name and let me see your questions. If I can set certain words on this software, so Alex or at Fishery or at Alex, usually I can get it to put a box around your name, and it will do it around the whole box rather than just around your name if you're a member. I don't know how any of that works, but it do. I mistakenly asked you about how to take care of guppy fry, but in actuality, I wanted to know how to take care of betta fry. That's a big difference, but yeah. So chocolate milk, I love this stuff. I need magnesium and potassium. That's why I'm drinking it. It has more magnesium and potassium than like any sort of sports drink, which is interesting. At least in the U.S., where it's required to be fortified. It's all good, man. We all make mistakes, but anyways, I was thinking that. Okay, advice for bettas. Now, if they're betta splendens, they're going to have a little bubble nest. The eggs are going to be floating, and you can steal those eggs. No problem. Some betta will actually defend the eggs and the babies. Some will defend just the eggs, and then once the babies hatch, they may start to pick off one or two as they're kind of guarding. It's usually a corner of a tank or around a piece of wood that's sticking up immersed or around a plant that's near the surface. They usually try to anchor it to something about to breach the water if they can, and then they'll put their little foam bubbles on, like anchored to that. And it's tricky. Sometimes you can't get them to spawn. A lot of times, bettas that are bred in captivity, they won't. So the fancier lines, they won't be able to reproduce properly and make a proper bubble nest because they need to have 80% humidity the first 3 months of their life whenever they come up to the surface for air, because the little snail shape or spiral shaped little organ in their sinus/ear area of their head, their labyrinth organ, which is how they take gulps of air, that oxygen dissolves, the atmospheric oxygen dissolves from a gas straight into their, basically, like, we'll call it sinuses for lack of a better term, and then goes directs it to the gills, where the gills would normally be running water through and taking the oxygen there. Well, if it's not humid enough, they can't form that organ. And that's true with a lot of labyrinth fish, gouramis and things too, and tenopomas and stuff like that. So you want it to be humid. You can do that by just putting a lid on the tank. You can have your fish room humid, or, you could just keep the water level a little, like, this much lower than the top of the tank, and then have a lid. Also, ARB-1, ARB-1, welcome as a member. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that you do enjoy that, and please feel free to interact with the community. We also have a Facebook group. I think we're going to start up a Discord because everyone's going for it. I was kind of looking at Substack instead. Also, I'll get back to the Betta thing in a minute, but I was also looking at Substack as a community. So if anybody has any thoughts on whether Substack or Discord would be better in the long run, let me know. Also, I'm gonna definitely need help because I'm a doom, and I don't know anything about setting up a Discord and all the little channels and subreddits and whatever the heck it's called. Um, so we're kind of gonna need some community engagement at a level that's pretty intense if we want that to work. And it has to be people, that are behaving themselves. So yeah. So Bettas, anyways, let's finish that up. I always get a jar and I will take some lettuce or broccoli or celery and I will boil it or blanch it. And then I'll put it in a jar of tank water, aquarium. Just get a mason jar, canning jar, and fill it with tank water. Then put the piece of broccoli or some lettuce or anything really. You can put it fresh or boiled, but I've noticed that when it's boiled or blanched, it seems to work a little better. And then leave it in the sunlight on a windowsill or under a lamp that's bright. Leave it there. If it's a lamp, you can leave it 24/7. Eventually, you'll start seeing milky or cloudy water. And that is single cell organisms. And you can take like little eyedropper amounts of that and put it around the parents and things. But you're going to want to try to give the parents live food if you can. Bloodworms, blackworms, those also are great. Frozen works fine too with that. And then ideally, you want small plants or little sticks or things like lotus pods, little areas for them to hide because they're going to hatch. They're going to have like a little belly with some egg yolk on it. And then they'll use that egg yolk in the first 4 days or so. Then they'll start needing to eat those microscopic foods. And you're probably not going to see the babies. They're really, really hard to see unless you know exactly where they are and they're all together with the parents. So usually at 2 or 3 days, you can tell just by the behavior of the parents whether they're sticking around or what. But a lot of times the babies will be kind of back behind them or, a few inches away, somewhere tucked away. And you can then know, all right, the babies have been born and the parents are still kind of guarding them, but also it wouldn't take much for them to turn around and eat them. And that's when I usually pull the parents out and then let the babies hang out in a small tank. But I usually try to steal the babies before they even hatch. When they're in their bubble nest as eggs, you can kind of see them. They usually have a kind of an off-color amberish hue to them. All right, now let me scroll down. Wow, Betta and Guppy Gal. Thank you so much for 30 months. Patty, you rock. Thank you. That's you, right, Patty? Or am I off on that one? You change your name so much I can't remember if that is you, Patty. Patty, can you hear me? Let's see here. Gavlin. I like that name. Merry Christmas. Right on. Merry Christmas to you. Just Joe. Right on. Bernie. You have Kubota or Kubatai Rasbora fry. I'm feeding them Infusoria. I can't tell they are so small. Is there a way to make sure the food in the aquarium 24/7 for nano fry? Yeah. So again, leave a piece of lettuce, not a huge piece, but like a strip, a piece of cucumber, a piece of zucchini that you blanch. If you do that and you put it in the water, you don't want it to foul up your whole tank or anything. But if you let it sit in the water, bacterial and microbial little lives will start to be forming, and that will get eaten by the Infusoria and Paramecium. Now you can also get Paramecium cultures. You can also feed them with an eyedropper. But if you have a seasoned tank that's been around a year or more, and especially if you've raised baby fish in it this way before, those will still be living somewhere in the substrate. And they may not be robust enough to feed all your babies, but they'll feed a lot of them usually, especially if it's a planted tank. Especially like Rasbora fry, they're very small. But they also, the problem is they need to graze very, like a lot. A lot of time is spent grazing and just eating this and that. What is the best plant for baby shrimp protection? I think Siswassertang is a good one. Water Sprite is a good one. Boost actually works really well too. Or Anubias Petite Nana. Juan Vasquez, what's going down? Green tea. How does Aquatic Arts have tank bred creamsicle Amano shrimp? So they have been buying them from a source, I believe in Taiwan. If they're the orange and the white ones you're talking about, those are from Taiwan. And they are a color variety of the Amanos. But who's breeding them in captivity? That's a wild question. I know the Germans did it for a while and the Czech did it for a while, but what it requires is like 5 different tank levels of salinity. So maybe if you already had a breeding facility, it wouldn't be that hard to have like a basket that drops in with the baby larval shrimp or something. But man, it seems like a lot of work, but they are pretty. Some of the color morphs that they're playing with now are kind of pretty. It's a lot of work, and they're not going to reproduce in your water most of the time if you have an aquarium. Coro, thank you so much, man, for the 5 gifted memberships. Whoever gets those, y'all are lucky dogs. Coro is I really appreciate it, man. It means a lot to me. And you're making it so that people can check out, they can go to the community tab, they can go back and look at things I've posted there, including the extra episodes, of which there's over 200 that started with the name Fishy. So yeah. Oh, what, Patty? I need Alex Discord so I can post sick fish stuff when needed. Yeah, I know. Okay, Discord it is. Well, let's get that going at the beginning of the year for sure. Johnny says there's a super exclusive Dan's Fish Discord that consists of just me. Well, I feel like if you're interested in it, in helping me like with it, because the thing is, I only have so much time in my day. I'm already trying to answer comments on the native platform of YouTube. Then there's all the emails that come in daily and all the phone calls. And I'm going to have to just tell people I can't do this for free. And I hate being like that. But like today, I spent 4 hours talking to people, texting people that needed help with stuff. And I'm happy to help when I have the time or whatever, but I'm not getting paid for it. And as much as I don't want to charge people, that's how I'm going to have to do like the self-elimination of it. Because it's just eating up a lot of my time. Like when I could be making videos that would be more useful to more people, hopefully. So unless it funds the channel, which then later allows me to make more videos, or whether I'm making more videos, that's probably what I need to do with my time. I'm just real bad at saying no when people ask me things if they search me out, because I feel like they've been thoughtful. They, especially if they ask questions that are thoughtful and I haven't answered in other videos. The usual thing is I can just tell them, well, look up my video and literally type in your question and @Fishery in the search bar and you'll find the video on it. But yeah, so maybe Discord wise, maybe you guys can if you're interested and you see this, I'm going to post it on the screen right now. All right. So, Ossia Llewellyn, 31 months. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you. Man, thank you so much for the support for so long. I mean, that really is wild, and it means a whole lot. It does. Bunny Viper, Geek Boy, Skull Aquatics. Oh, we got all sorts of folks coming in here. What's going on, guys? Nano Aquarium guy, Stephen P, Adam Reynolds, something Vermont that I can't pronounce. Kalish, what's up? Geek Boy, Adam McReynolds, Canyon L. Canyon says, have you got any advice for preventing leaf-laying fish from eating their eggs? I'm working with Sabua resplendens, and females seem a little bit too interested in each other's spawning sites. Yeah, that's a really hard one. I usually take them out. That's honestly what I would do, is just trim the leaf and pin it to the edge of another tank, tuck it into the somewhere. That's what I would. That's what I'd probably do, and that's what I've done in the past. Fishery is one of 2 memberships I consistently pay for on YouTube, and it definitely pays for itself with how many shrimp and fish I haven't lost. Well, thanks, Cora. I appreciate it, man. And I need to see you again. I need to come down to Oregon and say hello. Yeah, Mick says slap that like button. Yeah, what a minute ago there were only like 40 likes. Come on, guys, get it together. Get it together, people. All right, so right here, I'm the fire starter. Okay, so Alexander J. Will, there might be an extra L in there. There is. There's only 2 L's, folks. Alexander J. Williamson at gmail.com. Well, that'll throw the bots off. That is my website. If you guys want to start a Discord with me and actually like spend some time in the next 6 months working with me on it and stuff, if that's something that interests you, please message me. Especially if you have, experience and stuff. Few people have reached out in the past, and honestly, I just can't keep straight who's who and who's offered what. So I'm just going to throw it out there again and say that as the beginning of 2024, let's get something up and running, for sure. Elaine says, why can't people Google questions? I have only had one question Google didn't answer. I understand if it's a very nuanced or detailed, like, yeah, but there's this detail that's different than most people in my situation. If you're asking things like that and they're questions, but yeah, if it's something like, what does I don't know, a Betta rubra look like? Why would you ask me that? Like, maybe they just want to chat and I shouldn't be a jerk, but like, seriously, I'm gonna Google it and copy and paste a picture and send it to you. And that's if I'm feeling nice and not just like, are you kidding me? Why are you asking? Like, it took you so much more effort to write an email or to open the window and write that to me than to just look it up. Yes, that is something to worry about. Let me see here. Oh, I missed your last question, but yeah, so they are taking, they actually already did take a bunch of fish antibiotics and reptile and bird and stuff, antibiotics off the market in July in the US. Now, there's more that I think hit on the first of this coming year, and they are going to get rid of some of the stuff that is used, that's prescription, because humans are taking it, and humans are taking it incorrectly, and humans are taking it daily and making super bugs, and like they've got MRSA, and then they take it every day, and they're taking a weak fish antibiotic every day in small amounts, and then all of a sudden it's resistant to everything related to penicillin because of the dumb thing they went and did. So that is what's behind a lot of it, honestly. But I believe erythromycin is on the list to remain available. And the other thing is, it's a list that's kind of like, yeah, there'll be prescription, but they'll be okay for like farmers and things like that. So maybe fish room people will be able to get some sort of exception too, where you can go to the vet and kind of get a bulk thing going. Let's see here. What was your other question? See if I see it. Oh, I saw you talking about paying for something. So that's music to my ears. I don't know if it actually, yeah, Patty, I don't think it actually is showing me your other comment, because I see some comments, but I'm not seeing anything about. I'm not seeing any question. Other than I would pay for a personal consultation. That's not a comment, or I mean, that's not a question. But if it was, I don't know the answer. You'll have to answer that if that was a question. Yeah, yeah. You want me all to yourself? All right. Everybody else leave. We better drop a nice super chat then. That's all that means, and we'll kick all these other rapscallions away. Let's see here. Boots and cats and boots and cats. Good to see you. $5. I don't think that's gonna do it, but have you incubated premature fish? I'm hoping to attempt some gups. I hope. Very, very poor results in my experience with guppies, live bears. Now, if you had a little bit bigger, maybe a molly or something, I don't know. Maybe they're more formed, but the problem, is they just look sickly and they never get better. And within the end of the day, they're usually goners, unfortunately. So I've not had good luck with that. Premature fish. Now, fish that are in eggs, I've had fish in eggs stay too long, and I have to put them in you take like a vial and you sink it to the bottom of your deepest tank with the eggs in it, and then you cap it off, and that'll put the pressure of all that water under the tank in the little testing vial. Then you just walk around with it in your pocket all day, or shake it around a little bit, and oftentimes that will bust the seal, so to speak, for the baby fish. So if they're taking too long and all the others have hatched, I know that trick, but that's not what you asked. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of you. Like count is still at 55, y'all. You trying to make me cry? Nobody likes me. Yeah, Google doesn't have very good info. Yeah, and Chat GPT for fish, even worse. Like generic, like what's the nitrogen cycle? That might be okay, but like if you ask them anything in Latin, any Latin name, there's a good chance it's going to go completely off the rails, like error, and then start smoking. I mean, it's probably already smoking. It's probably so stressed. Ooh. Ooh, I can piggyback off the fish cord too. Steven, Stephen P. Holy smokes, my man! Thank you very, very kindly, sir. I've always liked your Wet Your Plants series on your channel. These days I feel like I've been kind of a slouch in chatting live on other people's channels, but I do stop in and I'm like, I should say hi, but then I'm going to be that guy in the chat who knows a bunch of the people in the live stream, and everyone's like, hey, Alex, what's up? What's up? What's up? And I should be polite, and then I should respond, and then I'm going to derail their chat. And so then I just sit there and watch like a weirdo in the corner. But I wanted to say I appreciated that. And I really, really appreciate that support there, man. The 10 memberships, that means a lot, because it's going to give people a chance to try out the membership thing and see if they dig it. I do need to be doing more for members soon, I feel like. So so what's up with Alex? He's making me dizzy. What am I doing? So we got Patty saying that erythromycin she heard is going to be gone. I don't know. I heard it was going to be safe for a time, but don't trust me on that yet. I haven't looked up, any of the newest revised stuff. Before it was a list, and it was a list that was not very solid because it was determined by like a panel, and so they could add or take away from it as needed. Yeah. But all right. For some reason, I'm way behind in the chat. I'm going to try to scroll down. If I missed a question, just ask it again, I guess. Yeah, X is safe. It's fine. I just don't like the color that it dyes everything. So usually I'll just turn up my tank to 86 and call it good. If the fish can handle it. Some fish can't. But if they're truly tropical, like tetras and stuff, usually that's fine. Sketty, what is Sketty talking about? Now I want to be a part of the conversation. Do ba do ba do boop 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 boop. Wait, who's relocating to Des Moines or Des Moines? Let's see. Oh wait, some guppies are still in egg sacs till forming. Yeah. I don't know. Sounds like some crazy scientist stuff to me, Patty. If you can do it, my hat is off to you. Speak on suction cups. Okay, suction cups. I hardly knew ye. Suction cups. Take my wife. That's all I got. Oh, Mob Guppy. That's a bummer. If you used ick treatment and it killed all by accident your fish, I think you used it wrong. It's a pretty benign treatment, usually. It's usually malachite green or Victorian green. It's a blue or green dye generally, with some sort of formaldehyde or formalin mixed in sometimes too. That stuff's nasty, but you only use a little bit. The heat thing too. Monish Pawar, welcome. Let's see here. Had one question. I had a question about algae and when you can tell if it's overtaking your plants. I have Blackbeard algae and I feel exhausted trying things out and it's not working. So with Blackbeard algae, that is tricky and it's hard to know when it is taking over your plants fully to the point where it's going to be blocking out the light of your actual plants. So really that's the test is like, are your plants suffering because they can't see light or because the drag on them with the flow in the tank is causing them to lose leaves because that fuzz is too much, or maybe the stem, it's like messing with the growth. All those things are bad and probably obvious reasons why it could be messing with it. I would get some Amano shrimp if you can. They will pick at Blackbeard algae. Also, the Siamese algae eater with the Latin name reticulatus. They have a black diamond spot on their tail. Those are really good at eating that. Now, they will rip leaves as they eat it, but that's kind of at this point, it might be unavoidable. You might be losing some of your leaves, especially on plants like Anubias or Crips. A lot of times, the algae will get on there, and any critter that's going to be able to get it off is also going to rip a little pinhole in the plant where it pulls it off. But I think any amount is too much. You can control the factors that are light and nutrients, really. That's basically what you can do. I mean, CO2 you can add to help cut down on it and to help your plants get a fighting chance. But you're kind of at the whim of the Jason is an expert BBA grower. Aquarium Co-op used to have it on all their sponge filters and all of their power heads and stuff. Like they just, they let it grow, but then they would put new plants in every so often. But the thing was, then sometimes people would bring it home and there'd be a little teeny patch of that on there and it would end up in their tank. So I think they stopped that or toss it out. Now, the other thing you can use is obviously you can use H2O2 or hydrogen peroxide. You can put that in a syringe and boom, spot treat it as they call it. And it will turn orange to yellow or red depending on how much you hit it with. And that means it's dead. After that, little critters will eat it or it'll fall apart. All right, guys. The whole genus of algae eaters eats Blackbeard pretty well. Yeah, it's true, especially when they're young. Especially when they're young. And it sounds like Dan's Fish has some in stock if you are in need. And I have a link to Dan's Fish, especially if you're doing any last minute Christmas shopping. You can get a gift card or you can order something and then print out a picture and tell your family that is obsessed with fish or yourself. You can say, self, I got you this. I bought you this nice, discus. Here you go. I bought you this rare live bear. Bob Steen fought that son of a gun. He bought a bunch of, if not all of the one of the live bears that was really rare at Dan's Fish recently, and I was like, I wanted to get those. Anyways, I will proceed on and check back. Are sponge or hang off the back filters better? Totally up to you and what you want to accomplish. If you have baby teeny fry, probably a fine sponge filter is ideal. If you have medium-sized fry like guppies and stuff, maybe baby shrimp, then maybe a coarse sponge filter. The HOBs, you could get a pre-filter on there. and that'll help you from sucking up the babies and then getting them munched up in the impeller of the whole thing. But again, unless you've got the new thing that Corey just developed at Aquarium Co-op, the little scuba snorkel for sponge filters, unless you got that to move water around at the top, it's just going to break the surface of the water, surface tension, and that's going to put a little more oxygen into the water, but it's not going to like create a current that's very strong. And hang off the back filter, you oftentimes can create a down current that then goes down and kind of wraps around in this circular pattern almost. So yeah. What is your opinion on using an external UV filter? If you're really struggling with Blackbeard algae, sure, why not? Or cyanobacteria. But to me, it does kill a lot of the little microflora and fauna that I work really hard to save up in my aquarium. So in most of my older aquariums, like over 2 or 3 years old, I'll notice that at the bottom, there are little tufts of Blackbeard. There are little tufts of hair algae. There is a little bit of filamentous algae, maybe in between some duckweed up top. There is a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There's probably 8 to 12 types of algae in my tank when it's an older tank that's established well and doing well. And basically, they're all competing. And if you have them all in there, no one is going to get a foothold that's way better than the others. Now, I've been trying to figure out a way, just thinking, a way to put this into practice where we could come up with a way to kind of introduce all 20 algae at once without one taking over as a monoculture. But I've yet to figure that out. So I would say proceed with caution. If you're doing a nature tank, you may not want to use the UV external filter. But if you're trying to spawn angelfish or blue rams or guppies even, and that's your main goal, and the plants aren't, and having babies being able to be born in the tank sporadically, then maybe you don't need to worry about it, and you can run that thing 24/7. You are in India. Well, at least it's warm there. Free catappa leaves, right? Okay, let's see here. GNC Aquatics. Hey, Craig, one of my videos made it into YouTube's algorithm, so it got 1,609 views, and I got 9 new subs. I'm only 54 away from 500. Congrats, GNC. Right on. Guys, GNC. Go ahead and take a look at his channel. I'm always rooting for you guys who are firing up the channels, starting to do stuff on your own channels. Everyone's got to start somewhere. Holy smokes, Jeff Kane has done it again. Kane the main, Jeff. I feel like it needs to be Kane the main and then like his last name, but that is his last name, so it's Kane the main Dupree. But thank you so much. Holy cow, 20 gift memberships. Is it hot in here, guys? I'm feeling a little verklempt. Thank you so much, buddy. Merry Christmas, seriously. It's very kind of you. For the others that will get access to all the 208 episodes or whatever it is of Fishery that's audio friendly, as well as some posts that are like, look, my cat scratched my face, and all this silly stuff that I post to members and sometimes doesn't make it out into the light of day. Also, I'm kind of debating of doing some member streams once in a while, maybe as a way to try to interact more with answering the questions and things that I get. Look at Fish Fam link. It's confused. It says, thanks for gifting no memberships. You're welcome, chatbot. Nola's Dolls and Aquatics. Aquatic dolls. What will they think of next? Guy. Let's see here. Chris Howell, what's up? Hey, moving to Seattle in a few weeks. Where's all the cool fish stores at to get plants and stuff? Honestly, best plant store in town, hands down, bar none. Aquariums in North Seattle. They've got tissue cultures. They've got Dennerle, Tropica. They've got what do you call it? The Florida Aquatic Nursery, Waterscapes. So the same place where like Father Fish gets his fish, yeah, they get the delivery of that for their stem plants. Plus, they get local people like me, bringing them rare stuff too. They're a good one. They usually have about 70 species of plants in the house at any time. Aquarium Co-op is pretty decent too. They're slower growing plants for the most part. There's not a lot of like big nitrate munchers that will keep that in check. But there are, swords, some crypts, and then there's usually like wisteria, pogostem and stellatus octopus. That one will eat up some nitrates and ammonia. But also the Anubias, sometimes a little bit of boost of one or two varieties, but more it's Anubias and Java ferns and stuff like that. But yeah, once you're in Seattle, hit me up. I will tell you where to go, or we can meet up. There's always groups of folks here in Seattle that are happy to meet up and look at fish stuff and drool together. Finally ordered my aquarium from Aquarium Co-op just the other day, but got bulk. Marison picked up one of those filter thingies. Oh yeah, let me know what you think of the filter thingy, the snorks. It's actually a product that I think was invented a really long time ago, like the 40s. But it's good that it's back. Nobody was making a legit one, so way to go. The thing I want is an air-powered hang off the back filter, or more of those little corner filters that are tiny that work off of air, but you can power like a little trickle filter. I love that. Patty says, I do like a canister filter, and I think everybody should have one on hand. You think we're made of money, Patty? You live in a house full of money, or made of money? Is it like 20s make up your drywall? Well, let me tell you something, Miss Jacksonian wallpaper. Can I have some of your house? So there. Hey, Alex, Riley Hamilton, pro tips for remineralizing and treating our soft Pacific Northwest water. It's for a South American scape just south. I'm just south in Eugene. Well, if it's a South American scape, it probably doesn't need to be hardened much. Usually South American water is pretty soft. There's some exceptions to that. Now, if you're in a spot biotope wise where there's limestone or something, you might have a little bit of KH, a little bit of GH, and a little more of KH. You can just use crushed shells from a chicken, from a tortoise. I don't care what you use them from. Or you can use crushed coral and or shells from the beach and crush them up and just scatter the little tiny bits around, and that will buffer our water plenty. From my experience, I've noticed that around a 7.0 tank with the TDS under 50, like out of the tap, so very close to RO water, rainwater kind of stuff. That in a tank with substrate already, like an Aquasoil, that's going to have some buffering capacity, but to get it to hold even longer and not swing in the long run, the pH ups and downs, what I would recommend is take for every 5 gallons, get about half a cup to a cup of crushed coral and just sprinkle it onto the top this much or so of substrate and just kind of work it in, like lightly rake it in. And that will make sure that your tank stays very stable. Now, it will also harden it up a bit. And if you want, when you set up a tank, I like to plan it where I put that down in the soil layer. So that way it's going into the plants, and then the plants are releasing it. If some of the plants die and fall to the bottom, then some of the mulm has it in it. So that way it goes to the snails and things slower and more eventual, because usually the calcium and things that you put in your tank like that, they need to be broken down by bacteria or archaea. And then that puts out some metabolite like calcium hydro or hydroxy, whatever, and then something can use that form, and that is the form that either our fish or our plants are using. But yeah, I mean, I like salty shrimp if I had to pick something for keeping the water soft still, but being very precise, like for caridina. That's what I would recommend. I don't use equilibrium or anything. I basically just use crushed coral, and I'll use cuttlefish bone from time to time. But that's it. And I'll just kind of get it dialed in. I'll add a little bit, add a little more if need be. Let's see here. I know, just Joe, I wanted to try Dustin's mix of his Planet Tank jungle juice mix or whatever he calls it. But you're right. Yeah, there's no breakdown of what's in it, so I didn't get it. I mean, for all I know, it's ammonia. No, I doubt that. But yeah. Mel, hello. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And a happy solstice. This place is full of information for a rookie. Well, glad to hear that you are soaking it up like a sponge, finding it enjoyable, Jamie. Welcome. We're all friends here, except for Mel. I don't like that one. I don't like that Mel. It won't let me delete my canister comment. Well, sounds like the computers are taking over. They've started. Better get up, catch up with them. Let's see here. Do you happen to know if fluval stratum are lighter than most aquasoil? I find that my plants can't find deep roots and won't carpet. So yes, it is a little lighter, but no, it's not that different. That is very common, and that's why having even an inch to a half inch of sand, or even really fine silty sand that you can get from like a local creek or something that's like really fine, like almost like mud or something, that can really help get the actual stem situated and kind of have some pressure around the base, because the roots will reach to a certain degree. Now they're not going to reach, certain carpeting plants just have such shallow roots, they're not going to reach like 3 or 4 inches down, but they will. Pretty much all the plants in the hobby will reach 2.5 inches down, I would say, something like that. Well, guys, I am getting the little hints that I'm fading again, and I don't want to fade. Jeff Kane, Merry Fishmas, everyone. Alex, you don't have any mods. Stephen P. and Fish Family Link volunteered. Yeah, I don't have any. Do I not have any mods in here right now? Weird. That is odd. Let's hold on. Let's remedy this. Uh, oh, rapid roar, that stock car boy. Well, he's too much to believe. You know, he's always got an extra package rolled up in his t-shirt sleeve. He got a tattoo on his arm that say, baby. He got another one that just say, hey, hey, hey. But every Sunday after morning, he's a dirt track demon in a 67 Chevrolet. Oh, rapid roar, that stock car boy. Well, he's a too much to believe. Let's see here. Oh, aquatic moose member for 4 months. Do you think that spirulina is healthy for freshwater fish? I've heard talk that because it's a saltwater algae, it may not be ideal. Also, happy solstice. Yeah. I think it's fine. I mean, it's salty, but I think it's basically MSG. But everyone loves MSG, right? I meant box filter, not canister filter. Merry Christmas, Alex family and chat. Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, Patati. Vinoski. I wish I had the energy to stay up with you guys longer tonight. I'm having fun. I think we will have another stream before Christmas, or on Christmas, perhaps. Just because I don't want anybody to be alone. There used to be a great time, oh, so much you could see. You remain the light on the dark side of me. What was I doing? Oh, right. Well, that's helpful. Here we go. Where is it? Where does Jeff Kane go? Come, Mr. Tallyman, tally me bananas. Daylight come and we want to go home. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. I want to sing, but not about fish. 8 foot, 7 foot, 10 foot bunch. Daylight come and me want to go home. Day. He said day. All right, so now we got some mods with bods that are flawed. Hold on. All right. Yeah. Backfired on you, Jeff. Take that, Jeff. That's what you get for being so generous, Jeff. With great power comes great responsibility, Jeff. And also, I gave one to Stephen P because I've known him forever. And the thing about being a mod on my channel is really, as long as you keep away the people who are literally copying and paste spamming stuff, that's all I ask of you if you're here. And if you're not here, don't sweat it. I don't pay you. Chevy Fish and a few other people have been kind of my de facto professional mods for a while, and I would give them gifts and stuff. But I feel like we can just roll this way. This is the highest I've seen my man's, and he doesn't even get high. No, but I am a creature of the night. Creature of the night? Creature of the night. Creature of the night. I remember during a time war, drinking those moments when. Anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna call it a night. We're at an hour. I did my job. I served my time. Now I want my benefits. Now I want my retirement and I want my medical benefits. So yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I don't think we accomplished a whole lot, but you know, hopefully it was a little. Hopefully we accomplished a little. Also, I've got a 40 breeder free. The Bowfront 65 is going to be free any day now. And I want to figure out what fish I want. Today I was going to say, let's talk about what fish we want. But just remember, if you're buying fish at Aquatic Arts, I think they're running a sale right now. I don't get credit for their 20% off sale, which is fine. I'm just letting you guys know that they have one going for something or other there. I skimmed the email. I need to look at it closer. It came just as I was starting this stream. But then also Dance Fish, if you want to buy something there, anything there, use the code Alex and it'll help you out a little bit. That's all I got, guys. I'm working on it. I really, really want the Wet Spot to also take me under their wing and let me slang their weird, strange fish, because that's what I love. All right, guys. So email me if you wanted to. Yeah. Holy cow! So you're counting a 50 new members tonight. That is a member run, man. You know what's really frustrating is I've been sitting at 54,004 to 900 subscribers for a little while now. Like, it goes up all the way almost to 55K, and then it'll go all the way back down to 53. Like they'll get rid of 1,500. So I have no idea what's going on. But I also saw a few YouTubers who shall not be named because I don't want to cast anything on them if they didn't do it. But I saw a few people who had 50,000 or 10,000 likes on videos that had like 28 views or like 2,000 views, It was ridiculous. Some shenanigans is going on there. So, yeah. Views definitely can disappear. I have that happen all the time. If they decide it was a bot, then they won't count it. But yeah. All right, guys. I'm gonna get along, little doggies. I hope you have a wonderful night. If I don't see you before Christ's Mass, the eve or the day of, yeah, Steven says, how do you buy the likes without buying the views? Right? Get it straight. At least buy the subscribers, right? Patty, I hope you figure out how to have your surrogate guppy babies or whatever it is you're doing. Jumper cables and Gene Wilder. Those are the things I think will need to be involved for it to be a success. All right, you guys, have a wonderful evening. Much love. If you want to watch a video on how to not buy fish that are going to die in a day, I put one up today. It's got real dramatic music at the beginning, and it's not a bummer showing a bunch of croaked fish, I swear, in the video. That it's full of that. All right, guys. Well, have a good one. I've been stalling too long. I'm gonna get out of here before I totally stalling. Yeah, it'd be nice if we get to 56K tonight. I will indeed snort a comet goldfish if we get there tonight, and I will record it, and I'll pull it out through my mouth. We'll do the thing where I'm gonna need some real long tails though on these things. Yeah, proud of yourselves. I wrenched you. That's right. That's what you get for being responsible friends who've hung out for a few too many years. All right, guys. Take care. Oh, Claire, a new member. Welcome. Welcome back again to the show that never ends. Come inside. Come inside. F the buds. All right, guys. You can give Patty the boot for that one. All right, guys. I'll see you some other time soon. Have a good night and happy holidays and a great solstice. Don't sacrifice too many virgins.